Hello, folks. This is HexagonalSpy, the Spy. We're going to make an announcement here. As you already know, the Nod campaign has taken a twist with making a alliance with GDI. Surprisingly, now what I'm going to say is this. Killian had the right idea, had only the half right idea of what to do in this situation with Nod. See, she only had the right idea at one point. Yes, making an alliance with GDI could be able to actually be a good change to deal with the aliens. But it can only go so far, and she's not blind to the fact of what Nod really wants. The Brotherhood of Nod needs something to be a guaranteeable of victory. Killian had the right idea of wanting to get the launch codes for the warheads that you saw. You guys probably saw that one mission, the recent mission in Australia, and the Nod campaign series of Command & Conquer 3 Tiberian Wars. Those warheads needed those launch codes, and I don't know how the alliance with the GDI is going to be for long, but I can guarantee you that it's not going to be pretty. Killian has to realize that alliance with GDI is making her look bad, and I think she probably knows that. Yeah. Honestly, if the not commander, the Arbiter would have been her position, he probably couldn't have made a decision of making an alliance or make a decision, because he's like the anti-hero person, and with full rage and hatred against the GDI, and wants to do what it takes to be able to rewrite the laws of what rules that GDI has, made things like oppressing people from his point of view. The Nod Commander Arbiter's background is sketchy, but it's going to be revealed more the further down we get to the Nod campaign series. It's why I had to make sure that the Nod commander of Kane's army needs a different name. Arbiter is a anti-hero heretic. His background will be revealed more, but all to say for certain that his backstory as a kid, when he had a family, when he used to live in the blue zones, he lost his family to the GDI when they couldn't be able to get there fast enough in time to avoid a disaster. And when he turned down to a dark path and realized why the disaster had been going on. He wanted to make a true difference, wanted those rules of GDI to be rewritten, force if must be. So when he realized the point of the oppression of the oppressed of the people in the zones that was being oppressed by the rules that was set by GDI, by the country in the game, he went out of the blue zones and into the yellow zones, and met with the Nod forces at the age of a teenager. And I think he quickly He was recruited around that time, and when he was a non-soldier, he rose to a commander with impressive standards of getting shit done, of be able to again of capturing territories and such. He even gave speeches of a rebellion being made of wood. He even wants to believe in the cause of Nod, and never once had he wavered. And never once had his beliefs in the Brotherhood of Nod or Cain himself to be wavered, or what Cain wants to do for the zones that against GDI, for the rules to be rewritten through Tiberium. Now, here's one thing you need to understand. The Nod commander, Arbiter, he's not a villain in the story. He's just an anti-hero with very bad point of views. And his reasons to wanting to have things to be able to do some changes in the war against GI. It's from his point of view of how things are going on. Now, I'm just making this stuff up, guys, okay? I'm just making this up as I go along because every commander needs a backstory. And like I said, the further down we get to, and further down you see in the Nod campaign series, is more you get to know the Nod commander, Arbiter. He enjoys of having a challenge of impossible battlefields when his back was pushed against the wall, and he somehow be able to turn the tide around with some tricks to be planted out, even though the plan could be small, it could be built upon a larger faction, a larger counterattack, a larger plan to be made in the battlefield. And one thing that's similar with a GDI commander from the GDI campaign series, like the GI commander HexagonalSpy, is that like that commander in the GI campaign, Arbiter thinks outside the box. He thinks outside the box, and he does some things that was able to turn the tide around. He was never shook, and he was never wavered. And when GDI forces pressing in at the base that he runs, he knew exactly how to be able to think of one step ahead of his enemies, of the enemy that's in front of him. So when the Nod commander Arbiter comes knocking, calling, you can bet that things are getting serious in the yellow zones and turns bad for GDI. Now, as I already said before in the video, as I already said about the recent video, about a week ago, you can practically guarantee the surprise tone in his voice when he saw the video camera of the alien debris dropping down. He wasn't shook, but he sees the problem being a much greater threat. So, when he was working with GI for the first time under orders of Killian, and during the fight that he had against the aliens, and as you can see, the massive infantries and aircrafts, he could see them as a greater threat than GDI could be. A threat that could be Now, here's the thing. The Nod commander, Arbiter, doesn't give a shit ass about what happens to the cities and the blue zones. But if the cities, if all the countries, if the people that are being oppressed just happens to be liberated by the aliens because of it, then Arbiter will be reluctantly work with the plan of alliance until the time comes to backstab a Jedi in the back, or some anonymous, or something occurs that moves his hand to do things of his own terms. And when he sees things no longer beneficial of the Brotherhood of Nod, and this is all Killian, and not for the Brotherhood of Nod's beneficial, he will take control and he will lead the Brotherhood of Nod if he must. And that's pretty much about the short backstory that I just made up. That I just made up as I go along in the game. It's pretty much the reason why I chose the name of Arbiter as a name for the Nod commander. Now, there's no custom characters there, which sucks, by the way, in the Command Conqueror 3, as the best of my knowledge. But in this case, in this channel, I'm just trying to make things as I go along, as I try to be able to work things around it. That's all I can say at the moment of this announcement, folks. Stay tuned for the next announcement that's soon, tomorrow. HexagonalSpy, the Spy, signing off for now.